Last few days have been crazy ones for the markets, enough to make you want to get out of the market entirely, cash in, maybe open a coffee bar that sells muffins for breakfast, sandwiches at lunch, energy shots in the afternoon. It's where the money seems to be, at least for those customers who like to impulse buy. We're going to explain all of that in just a second. Steve Orr is a registered investment advisor. He wrote the book, Smart Investing. It's called The Noise Makers. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Good to be here, Russell.
Live in Texas. Just want you to know what you're experiencing today, that's rain.
That is? I had no clue what that was.
You guys haven't had rain in a long time. I wish you well.
Yeah.
Simple enough about the impulse buying. Everything we buy adds up, especially stuff we buy every day. Same old stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. You know, I'm kind of a studier of people, I guess you'd say, and I watch people go into Starbucks. They buy the $4 lattes and the muffins, and they spend a lot of money on lunch. And then they get that energy shot like you were talking about. And just a lot of money goes down the drain, and they don't think about what that could actually do for them.
You sent us some numbers on just how much we're spending every day on these impulse buys. Let's take a look at this. You got a cup of coffee. Oh, this is 5 days a week over 35 years.
Yes.
Cup of coffee, almost 36,000. Energy shots, 36,000. A muffin, 27,000. Lunch. 73,000. Now, you're not telling people to go without lunch,
no,
but you're just showing what we spend and what we don't really think about.
Right, and you could even cut down on the amount that you spend for lunch as far as that goes.
Yeah.
So you don't have to spend $20, maybe just spend $12.
Yeah.
Or,
you've watched, I mean, you're a financial guy, and you've been watching this crazy roller coaster the last few days. What do you make of it?
Well, it's a natural thing that ought to happen with the crazy things they're doing in Washington, D.C. For instance, I tell people, are you going to improve your credit rating if you have a $400,000 house and can't make the payments on it, and then go out and borrow $200,000 and think your credit rating is going to get better?
Yeah.
Not going to happen, right?
Right.
So the market's going to react to that.
Is that what this is about, noisemakers? I mean, is that kind of what you're trying to get across here?
Well, I try to take it, what we've been taught and what we've learned in our life about how the financial system is wrong. And there's marketing companies, the noisemakers are these big companies that tell you, past performance is not an indication of future return, and you're in it for the long haul, and this nice little asset allocation pot. That stuff doesn't work. And then on top of that, you have government regulators that are kind of buying into that because they receive a lot of money in fines from these big companies. And they run our country in a certain way that just doesn't really fit the capitalist free enterprise system, but we're drawn into it, and we wonder why we keep losing our money every 5 years. In the book, I tell you why. It's not complicated. This is not rocket science, but we are not taught how the free enterprise system works in school.
All right, I don't want you to give the book away. I know you want to sell the book, and it's available at Amazon. We'll tell you all right now.
Thanks, Russell.
But give us a couple of tips though. Things that you hear. Just what's a warning sign these days?
A warning sign for the market going up, or some of the warning signs I see is when things are really high and people are real happy, you need to be selling. When people are really depressed and sad, you probably need to be buying. But there's always certain things you ought to be in at certain times. When the economy's not doing well, then you may not want to be in the large company stocks, because you can see historically that they don't do well when the economy's bad, because nobody's buying anything. So you head towards the precious metals and commodities and things like that. Not necessarily buying gold, but buying into the market of gold and precious metals and commodities, real estate, oil and gas, managed futures, equipment leasing, senior secured notes, and private equity. Russell?
He's done this for a long time. Steve Orr is his name, and the book is called The Noisemakers, Why They Keep Losing Your Money and How to Make It Stop, and it's available at Amazon.com. Good to see you.
Thanks,
Safe
Russell.
travels back to Texas, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right.